Back Manchester United. Trent Alexander-Arnold's cross, and it's two. It was a buffet ball for Mo Salah, it's Mo Salah again.
Hey, what's up? Adam Lobo here from Adam Lobo TV. Yup, that was the special edition package of the collaboration between Liverpool and Sonos, which is currently not on sale, but yes, as a Liverpool fan, I was pretty excited. So other than the Liverpool goodies, you would get exactly what you would expect in the Sonos Beam Generation 2 unboxing, such as the power cable, a 1.5 meter HDMI cable, an optical audio adapter just in case you like to connect the Beam to an optical audio connection, and of course the documentations. Now, if you're not very familiar with Sonos products, the Sonos Beam is the only compact and affordable soundbar option compared to its bigger sibling, the Sonos Arc, which is the current soundbar that I have been using for more than a year. Now, in terms of the color options, the one which I am reviewing is in matte white color and the other option is in matte black. But if you're very familiar with the first generation Sonos Beam, you would find that this new generation 2 has the same exact design and the form factor, which is very compact, measuring at 65.1 centimeters wide, 10 centimeters in depth, and 6.85 centimeters in height. So yes, if you already have the Gen 1 mounted on your wall and if you want to change it, you can easily do so, and that was sweet. Now I have to say that I love the upgraded polycarbonate material grille which is used here in the Sonos Gen 2, which is the exact same material used in the Sonos Arc. And this is because the first generation wasn't the best at giving you a long-lasting experience because it's either trapping a lot of dust, and if you choose this white color variant, it even could go yellowish after a long period of time. Next, looking at the overall controls and the I/O available on the Sonos Beam Gen 2, you'll find the capacitive touch controls on top of the soundbar. You will find a total of 5 far-field microphones to choose between Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa voice assistant features to complement your smart home ecosystem if you have one. So as of now, or until now, it does not work natively here in Malaysia, but there is a workaround to get it to work, which I'll link a file down below, so be sure to check it out. Then looking at the back, other than the power port, there's the familiar join button when pairing and configuring the speaker, an Ethernet port for a wired Internet option, and an HDMI eARC port or EARC. And yes, this was one of the many significant upgrades from the first generation Beam. Now, as for the hardware specs or what is exactly in the soundbar, there are a total of 4 elliptical or a full range mid-woofers, a single center tweeter, and these speakers are all powered by a Class D amplifier. Now, what's also new is that this new Gen 2 Sonos Beam has a 40% faster processor, and this new processor has a very unique ability to create a whole new 2 virtual audio paths for Dolby Atmos. So what this does is that compared to a traditional Dolby Atmos soundbar like the Sonos Arc that usually has an upwards and sideways speakers to enhance the Dolby Atmos experience, these 2 new virtual audio paths will mimic those speakers virtually, giving you a total of 5 audio paths. Now, to be honest, this actually got me a bit skeptical at first, as technically it is not exactly a true Dolby Atmos since it was using a virtual audio path instead of an organic speaker sound. And having heard similar price soundbars from JBL and Samsung, I was not very pleased by the overall audio virtual path that was produced from those speakers, and I was proven wrong with this generation 2 Sonos Beam, as it did sound like a true Dolby Atmos indeed, but more on my sound experience later. So setting up the Sonos Beam is exactly the same as other Sonos speakers, which I've done an in-depth setup in my Sonos Arc review, which I'll link it down below. But what's even easier and faster is that since the Sonos Beam has NFC, where you just need to tap your phone on the speaker, that makes the overall setup process very quick. Now once you tap your phone on the Sonos Gen 2, it will be detected, then connect to your Wi-Fi, name the room that you're placing the beam in, and you're done. So how does the speaker sound then? Well, before we go into my Dolby Atmos experience, allow me to give you my thoughts about the sound when listening to music firstly. Now, before having your proper listening experience, I would totally recommend for you to tune the speaker through the TruePlay on the Sonos S2 app to ensure that the sound is automatically tuned. Now, once again, this TruePlay method is only available on iOS devices, and as of the recording of this video, does not support the latest iPhone 13 series. So try to get hold of the iPhone 12 series or before, and hopefully there will be a software update coming really soon which supports that. So all of my music listenings was on Apple Music, and while the separation instruments for any kind of genre was really nice and loud, it also had a very nice and rounded bass. And what really stood out to me was the amazing clarity of vocals, where it did sound like the vocals were placed right in the middle of the speakers. And I'm really in awe on how much of an output that the speaker produces because of this very small and compact form factor. Then when it came to Dolby Atmos experience on Netflix, once again the center channel really boosted the vocal projection extremely well. And this is also true to the sound when I was watching videos on YouTube, and the vocal clarity when it comes to watching movies was really cutting through perfectly, where it does cut through the noise and the background sound also goes in very well without compromising the quality or having any distorted sound, even at the higher vocal frequencies. And here's where I feel that the processor is doing a very good job too. So yes, gone are the days where you'll need to switch to the night sound mode to enhance the vocal clarity using the Sonos app if you're coming from the Generation 1 Sonos Beam. And going back to talking about the processor, similar like how it was for me, when I added the Sonos sub into the Sonos Arc, it cleverly separated the bass towards the sub more, making the overall additional speakers as more of a balanced speaker instead of really overpowering the bass. Now, in terms of the surround sound for Dolby Atmos, as mentioned, I was pleasantly surprised as the overhead sound like a plane or explosion over the top was really heard well. And you wouldn't even guess that the sound was created through a virtual part instead of real speakers, and that for me was really sweet. Then gaming on the Sonos Beam was also great, where there was no noticeable latency when it comes to my gaming experience on the audio video output. Playing fighting games like Mortal Kombat was nice, as it had a nice low end, and playing FIFA was also great with a great sound atmosphere of the crowd. Now, with my overall experience using this soundbar for the past month, I honestly don't see any cons, especially with this price point and the amazing sound that it produces. Now, if I really had to nitpick, I would say that having an additional HDMI port would be great, but maybe the second generation Sonos Arc might have that. And I'm sure that Sonos was looking towards keeping the soundbar small and compact, and that could be the reason why. And as usual, one would usually complain about not having Bluetooth connectivity too, but here's where either you can get the Sonos Move or the Sonos Roam for a more portability situation, as Wi-Fi music streaming has been way far more superior compared to a typical Bluetooth connection. Now, in conclusion, the Sonos Beam Gen 2 is surely a soundbar that will literally shake the home audio industry with its no-nonsense premium sound quality by packing this amazing sound in a compact form factor, whether or not you're using it for watching movies, through Dolby Atmos, or just listening to music. And I think that this Sonos Beam Gen 2 might be stealing some customers who might have been looking to make a purchase of its bigger brother, the Sonos Arc, due to its great price point at only 2,699 ringgit, and you can get yourself one from TC Acoustic, in which I will leave a link down below. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video review, and if you did, be sure to give this video a nice big thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to Adam Lobo TV if you haven't done so. My name is Adam Lobo, and I'll see you in my next video.